Hello everybody, welcome to JD's Journeys. My name is JD and today we're looking at another country for the Read the World project. Our next country was actually a very difficult one to research for, and that is Andorra. Andorra is a very small country with a very small population, so you wouldn't really expect there to be many famous authors. Well, I was right. And actually, I could only find one author who published anything in English. And it turns out those are self-published books. Although he is actually a fairly well-known author in Andorra, his main language is Spanish and Catalan. And those books are published traditionally, but the English ones are only available from Amazon, as far as I can see. So, let's talk about him. Our first book is The Teacher of Cheops by Albert Salvado. So, it says here, this is the history of the time of Pharaoh Snefru and Queen Hetepheres, the parents of Cheops, who built the largest and most impressive pyramid of all. It is also the story of the high priest Ramosi, Sedum, a slave who became Cheops' teacher, and how the first pyramid came to be built. Yeah, so it's kind of like a historical novel. It does continue. Sebek-hotep, the great wise man of that time, said, "Everything is written in the stars. Most of us live our lives unaware of it. Some can read the stars and see their destiny, but very few people learn to write in the stars and change their destiny." Ramosi and Sedum learned to write in the stars and tried to change their destinies, but fortune treated them very differently. This is a tale of the confrontation between two men's intelligence, one fighting for power, the other struggling for freedom. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? It's not about Andorra though, but that's okay. The next two books are part of the Shadow of Ali Bey trilogy. I'm guessing the third book isn't released yet. So first, part one is The Mysterious Balloon Man by Albert Salvado. As the 18th century ends and the 19th century begins, changes abound all over Europe. Absolute monarchy is coming to an end. England and Spain struggle for supremacy in the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, and France is in conflict with all its neighbors. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ocean, a new power is starting to emerge, the United States of America. In the midst of all these changes, Alfred Gordon, a civil servant employed by the British Secret Service, makes a discovery that will totally revolutionize global espionage. He realizes that the nobility, the traditional spies, are in decline. He turns to the burgeoning middle class instead. Gordon suggests to the Prime Minister, William Pitt the Younger, that they should employ Thomas Headking, a young Englishman living in Spain who is on the run after killing Lord Brookshield's son in a duel. They plan to use his business acumen to spy for them in exchange for a royal pardon. Tim Headking's ability is such that he gains access to the office of Godoy, the Spanish Prime Minister, where he finds a mysterious treatise on hot air balloons written by Polindo Remigio. Headking investigates and finds out that there is no such person. It is a pseudonym used by a Catalan man named Domingo Badia, a capable fellow with daring ideas who was to become the most intrepid traveler of the 19th century, a spy who has gone down in history with the name Ali Bey. It's a spy story in the 19th century, early 19th. Interesting. Next up is The Prince of Spies, which is part 2 of The Shadow of Ali Bey. Lord Grenville asks Alfred Gordon to come out of retirement and return to active service because an old acquaintance of the British Secret Services has turned up in London. He is meeting scientists, geographers, and explorers and has even had himself circumcised. Okay. And it is all being financed by the Spanish government. Gordon wonders what he could be after. Domingo Badia leaves London disguised as Ali Bey. He crosses the Strait of Gibraltar and carries out the plan he proposed to Godoy, the Spanish Prime Minister, conquering Morocco for the Kingdom of Spain because Sultan Slimane, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, refuses to sell the country cereal. All of North Africa would come under Spanish control. In the midst of all the changes taking place with the French Revolution and the rise of Napoleon, the British Crown loses one of its largest colonies and the United States of America comes into existence, looking set to be a great power. Meanwhile, war in Europe brings a major defeat for the Spanish Empire by Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar. An incredible adventure begins and the world witnesses the birth of one of history's greatest legends, Prince Ali Bey. Interesting. Some of that actually made me stop reading. And finally, also by Albert Salvado, it is The Phaeton Report, Noah's Secret Diary. Winston Churchill said, "The further we look into the past, the further we will see into the future." A famous writer knows in a party of man who tells her about USC, Universal Scientific Community, secret society created in times of Galileo Galilei that is dedicated to preserving the knowledge and the scientific truth against the attacks of the religions and official departments. In the middle of the feast, the man mysteriously disappears and the writer discovers that nobody knows or has seen him. Surprised, the writer researches and locates a member of USC that gives him access to true and remote history of humanity and the lies that have come to us to the present. Even he allows him to get into USC and meet other members. The real surprise comes when they reveal him and show him the existence and destruction in times of Pangaea, the only continent, and that the Great Flood was not work of the wrath of God, but the result of a human error made by an ancient civilization that almost kills all humanity. However, even he is going to discover the largest of all the surprises. If we do not, we can commit another mistake and again endanger humanity. Okay, it's an alternate history. Just reading from this description, it sounds like a bad translation. There's mistakes in it, so I'm kind of wondering if it's like that in the book. Yeah, that seems like an interesting one too. So apologies if I pronounced his name incorrectly. I'm not sure if it's Albert or Albert, because Andorra is kind of French, Spanish, Catalan, kind of mixed up there. But anyways, if you've read any of these books, please let me know in the comment section below. And if by any remote chance that you know any other Andorran books that are in English, please let me know. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.